Simple Life presents Signs He is Cheating on You. Have you ever wondered if your man is cheating on you? While there are many different reasons and root causes behind why men cheat, they include a lack of self-esteem, a search for validation, emotional and/or physical dissatisfaction. In addition to sheer lust or love for another person, an unfaithful partner can be devastating for any relationship. After all, if your goal is to have a healthy, successful, and long-lasting connection, being able to fully trust your partner is at the very heart of letting him into your heart. So if you suspect that he's cheating on you, it's important to look for these warning signs of an unfaithful man. 1. He acts out of character. You probably know your man backward and forward. You know how he acts when he's happy, when he's angry, when he's stressed, and even when he's hungry. However, one of the defining characteristics of a cheating man is that he acts out of character, and his once typical and predictable behaviors, actions, and routines start to switch. For instance, perhaps he'd always be glued to the television during football games, refusing to miss a play, but now he's off in the other room with the door closed. You may notice subtler changes, such as when and where he charges his phone, the amount of time he spends in the bathroom, and an increased length in his commute to and from work. Since you know how your man typically behaves in many situations and have a clear insight into the different nuances of his personality, any deviations from this norm should be a wake-up call that he may be unfaithful. 2. He cares more about his appearance. Since one of the major indicators of an unfaithful man is changes in his behavior, this is even more apparent when it comes to his focus on his appearance. Is your man suddenly very concerned with his looks when he previously couldn't have cared less? Does he now buy designer clothing, wear pricey cologne, place a huge emphasis on working out when this never even crossed his mind in the past? When your man suddenly becomes extremely interested in, or even obsessed with, his appearance, this personality shift could be a sign he is cheating. And while some of these changes can appear positive at first, when your man's intense focus on his looks seems to happen from out of nowhere and he hasn't filled you in as to why, this might mean that something's happening behind your back. And if you can't account for the reasons behind your guy's personality shift, you're not wrong to suspect that something shifty is occurring. 3. He's overly complimentary. While it may seem counterintuitive, another sign of a cheating man is that he's overly complimentary of you. And while this extra praise, attention, and admiration may make you feel incredible, too much of it should raise a red flag. When his praise for you becomes excessive and over the top, he might be attempting to throw you off the scent so you'd never surmise that he was cheating. To that end, this overly complimentary nature is also a tactic that he may use in front of your friends and family in the hopes that no one would ever suspect that he was doing anything behind your back. 4. He acts more distant. Another powerful indicator that your man is cheating is that he pulls away from you and the life that you have together. Do you feel as though he's stopped paying attention to you and constantly ignores you? Perhaps he used to make you a top priority, always listening to you, supporting you, and being fully engaged in what you were doing and saying. But now, it seems as though he couldn't care less about your needs, wants, and desires. He's also completely distracted and disinterested in the people, activities, and pastimes that used to matter to him. If your partner is acting distant, it's not a far-off possibility that he may be cheating on you. 5. He's less intimate with you. This type of distance is not only emotional but physical as well. If you've noticed that your once healthy and blooming sexual relationship has become a thing of the past, this behavior can also be indicative of a cheater. In fact, it's been found that even when some men are in happy and fulfilling relationships, they still have a proclivity to cheat. With this in mind, if your once frequent and fulfilling intimate time together now occurs less often, take it to heart that this man may be toying with your heart. He may view his other sexual excursions and endeavors to be more appealing due to the fact that they're happening under a lure of secrecy. So if you're finding that your man is pulling away from you, he may be trying to pull one over you. 6. He accuses you of cheating. While it may seem surprising, a common characteristic of a cheating man is that he accuses you of cheating on him. In fact, it's been shown that people tend to accuse their accusers of what they're doing as a way to deflect blame and guilt. And if your man insists that you're the one who's being unfaithful, or if his response to cheating inquiries is that you're the person who's doing him wrong, this could be a sign that he's been cheating on you. If someone accuses you of something that you're not guilty of, you would do everything in your power to rebuff, disprove, and discredit the accusation with clear-cut facts. On the other hand, if you were actually guilty, one way to try to absolve yourself from blame and avoid having to take the fall is to flip the argument back at the other person, no matter how ridiculous it may sound. So if he starts playing the blame game and throwing accusations in your face, it could be because he's playing games behind your back. 7. He lies to you. One of the most quintessential qualities of a man who cheats is that he lies to his partner over and over again. After all, cheating men have to cover their tracks, and that means lying about who they're with, where they are, what they're spending money on, etc. In fact, for many guys who cheat, their life ends up turning into one big lie, and they're left making up stories and events, in order to keep their indiscretions under wraps. And in many cases, this means fabricating and falsifying the truth to a point where it's practically unrecognizable. 8. He picks fights. Many times when a man is cheating, he looks for ways to stir up arguments and disagreements with his partner, and there are many reasons behind this fight-driven phenomenon. In the first place, many men who cheat are looking for ways to distract their partner and prevent them from figuring out what's really going on behind their backs. So by picking fights, men are able to divert their partner's attention to other topics in order to throw them off the scent. 9. He calls you by the wrong name. Another major indicator that your man is cheating on you is that he inadvertently calls you by the wrong name. Also known as a Freudian slip, this is an instance in which a person ends up saying out loud what he or she's unconsciously thinking. And for a man who's cheating on his partner, it's not uncommon that the name of the person who's the new apple of his eye ends up popping out of his mouth, sometimes at inopportune times. 10. He wants his privacy. A classic sign that a man is cheating on you is that he suddenly has a new need for privacy. You may notice that he's taking his calls in the other room, clearing his browser history on the computer, as well as deleting his text and Facebook messages. This is due to the fact that when men cheat, their ability to maintain their privacy is an important part of keeping up the illusion of their innocence. In many cases, men who cheat end up creating their own private world, with secret usernames, email addresses, social media accounts, hidden apps, and even separate phone numbers. 11. He spends time with friends who've cheated. A man's friends can give you clear insight into his character, priorities, interests, and pastimes. And while you can't control who your man is friends with, it's interesting to note that a man who cheats typically hangs out with other men who've also cheated. After all, not only is this one more thing that these men have in common and can discuss openly with one another, but they also share a similar bond, understanding, and attitude regarding cheating in general. Further, having friends who've cheated can also help your man validate, justify, and deal with his own unfaithful actions since he's close with others who've gone through similar situations. 12. He makes you uneasy. When it comes to men who cheat, there's a certain type of unsettling and disconcerting feeling that these men can end up generating in their partners. And while these men may do everything in their power to hide their cheating, their words, actions, and behaviors can instill a sense of uncertainty, uneasiness, and doubt in their partner. And in many cases, women can pick up on the fact that something is off, even without tangible proof or hard evidence. This concept is known as gut feel, and it occurs when a person intuitively senses in the pit of his or her stomach that something just isn't right. Women who are being cheated on can often feel that something sinister is happening, simply because of pure instinct. Do you see these signs in the person you are with? Check out the link below for your free audiobook from Audible. If you like the video, do subscribe, like, and comment. Do hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you for watching.